I'm going to unbox and take a look at 20th Air Force. This is the second edition, and it basically says here, you command the 20th Air Force. This is a solitaire game of the United States Air Force strategic bombing campaign against Japan from 1944 to 1945, so during World War II. This is from Fortress Games, and I want to give a shout out to Fortress Games. I had contacted them and said I was interested in their solitaire games, but specifically, the 20th Air Force, which has not gotten as much attention as their 8th Air Force game, which I believe uses the same system. And the good people at Fortress Games sent me this copy, so I want to thank them for that, and wanted to get it to the table as far as getting an unboxing and then get a play, and then I'll do an after action and try to get a little bit more content on this. But along with this game in the box came this insert, nice paper, talking about Fortress Games. And so there's the 8th Air Force, which is now in its second edition. I think the first editions came bagged. I believe they were like kind of a Ziploc and did not have a mounted board. I believe these have mounted boards now, or mounted maps, or mounted boards, whatever you want to call it. And the 8th Air Force has gotten, I think, quite a bit of coverage and gameplay, and I know several people have talked about that, and I've been watching some of those videos. The 20th Air Force, so the 8th Air Force is the RAF, it's the early years. It's let's see, the U.S. Air Force, 8th Air Force, 80 years later, why not? You've got until April of 1945 to bomb Germany industry. So this is dealing with, not the RAF, but dealing with the attacks on Germany, the bombing attacks by the 8th Air Force in Germany. So, late 43 to 45, I guess. And then this one is, of course, Pacific Theater and the bombing on Japan. So again, I think they're going to share similar mechanisms, but of course, different subject matter. Then these two games, I think, share a similar system, Save Afghanistan and Save South Vietnam. This is dealing with 1979 and USSR's involvement in Afghanistan. And then Save South Vietnam is dealing with the Vietnam War. And I think, I've seen a little bit of content on this one, and this one I think is like a 50 turns. You got to survive 50 turns to win the game. I think you start in 65 and go to 77 or something like that. I don't know. So these two systems, I think, share similar mechanisms, and these two systems share similar mechanisms. Of course, they all have different subject matter. So if you're interested in Fortress Games, here's, I don't know if they have any more games, but I know of at least these 4 offerings that look very interesting. So anyway, I might have to dive back in and take a look at some of these other ones as well. But we're looking at this one today. So this is 20th Air Force, and we can look at the back of the box there. Let's go get that mushroom cloud. So if any of you have seen Oppenheimer, you probably recognize that. We don't need to do a movie review on that today, but I liked it. I thought it was well done. A little long, but it's it's not meant to have like a bang a minute. Of course, there was a big bang in it, a couple of them. Anyway, so looking here at what it says here, on April 18th, 1942, Jimmy Doolittle led a squadron of carrier-based B-25 Mitchells on a daring surprise raid on Tokyo. The raid, conducted as a revenge for the Japanese surprise attack on Pearl Harbor 4 months earlier, did little damage, but was a harbinger of the destruction from the air that was destined to befall the island of Japan. There's an example of the map. Your objective as you take command of the 20th Air Force in September 1944 is nothing short of reducing Japan's cities, large and small, to smoldering rubble. To do so, you've got the powerful and sophisticated B-29 in growing numbers, and with flight crews improving in combat and navigation skills, and research effort at home developing increasing sophisticated weapons. While initially you must focus on clearing the skies of Imperial Japanese fighters and blasting their war industries with high explosive bombs. Eventually, you'll develop incendiary bombs, which reduce Japan's combustible wooden and paper cities to ashes and their dispersed war industries to ruins. Simultaneously, demolish her ports and kamikaze bases and mine her waters. In the meantime, research marches on. Perhaps you'll obtain the ultimate weapon, the atomic bomb. Hopefully, because you're in a race against time, if Japan can hold out long enough, the U.S. will have to launch Operation Olympic. The costly planned invasion of Japan and your strategic bombing campaigns will have failed. So rev up your engines and launch your wave after wave of super fortresses against the enemy. Victory or defeat waits in the skies over Japan. Well, that's quite an introduction. There's an example of some of the counters there as well that you'll be using in the game. So let's get inside this box and see what we have here. Again, I think the original version of these were Ziploc or bagged, and these have actually a box there, which is nice. And I can tell you the heft of this is, I got to believe that the maps are mounted, or the boards are mounted in here, because this feels relatively heavy. There's the box, you can see right there. Here is the game manual. Ooh, it's on thick paper. At least the covers is thick there. Whoa, love that. Look at that. There's your initial setup. I always like it when they use the back of the rules. Don't waste that space. So there's your setup for that. Okay. The rules themselves are, how many pages? 23 pages here. There's an example of play on the back there. Let's open this up. Do a little introduction here. This game is designed to be learned this way. Skim over the directions. Set up the game on page 3. Play following the turn section, page 5, which walks you through the turn phase by phase. Lots of examples throughout will help you. That's cool. I kind of like that learn as you go system. So there we have that. Then this is says the rules right there. Click here to view a playthrough of each phase and turn phase. Okay. Look at that. Interesting. So there's the game board. Here are the counters. Let's get a little close-up of those. Aircraft type, group, air combat factor, and arrival turn. Interesting. Targets. And again, this is solitaire, so there's going to be here's the AI. Speak of the devil. Sorry about that. IJAAF. AI. I don't think you need to buy a vowel with that. So there's the different tracks. Here's the turn. And this is the start on page 5. This is where you're going to go through the turn. So this kind of walks you through the play. It's, no columns, but there's there's images, there's highlighted areas, there's highlighted or notes in blue, and then these highlighted areas in yellow. So quite a bit of emphasis throughout this as you go through the game. Here's research. Executing a bombing mission. Very important in this game, which is basically most of the game. Here's incendiaries. I've got yellow emphasis there. Atom bomb missions. Optional rules. I need to do a coffee with Kilroy. Where is my coffee? Not a lot of optional rules. Designer notes. And then example of air combat right there. Cool. And that, as I said, that's thicker paper there. So that doesn't look that daunting. 2 dice. Cool looking dice there, red and green. Here is the board, which is sealed for my protection. Let's see here. Or freshness. These counters are laser cuts, which leaves a sooty residue along the cut lines. Okay, so I gotta clean them before punching out the counter. So, yeah, we gotta be careful as we do these counters. But let's get to the map and see what we can at least see the map before we get to the counters. I don't want to get you, the viewers, all sooty in the process. Let's make some space here and see what the map looks like. It is mounted. Got a nice, it's got like a little texture on the back there. Let's see what the map looks like. Ooh, I like the folds out. It's a pair of pants fold out there, as you can see right there. Okay, I'm gonna have to go up periscope to get into the guts of this. This is a good size map. I mean, it's not a table hog though, and I imagine that will sit or lay down flat after a little bit of encouragement. Wow, a lot of charts on here. So here is your bombing runs here. Here is Japan. And here are some of your targets at AA, so the anti-aircraft fire or anti-aircraft artillery. You also have a designation here as well. Interesting. Here's A-bomb delivery over here. And here is return to base here. Cool. Yeah, I'm going to have to orient myself on this. A little quote at the top there from Curtis LeMay. Apply whatever force is necessary to employ to stop things quickly. Interesting. So we have some charts here. Here is Kobe, Osaka, Nagoya, Yokohama, Kawasaki, and Tokyo. And so there is their air production, oil output, infrastructure, and housing. So these are the tracks that you're going to be tracking the kind of damage that you've done on the bombing missions. I mean, this is a war. This is World War II, and this is the strategic bombing of Japan. And this is a game that does simulates the effects of that campaign, and does it in a solitaire fashion. You are going to be commanding the U.S. Air Forces, bombing these locations, and tracking your success on those tracks right there. So let's look at the counters here. Well, first before we do that, let's see what else is in the box here. So we've got ooh, these are thick. Nice player aids here. There's a Japan industry damage right there. There's a research box. Here is calendar and bombing campaigns. And here is Japan manufacturer, new group placement, and destroyed minor city restoration, their interception, their low altitude area bombing, bombing by Navy, and combat results table right there. A lot of stuff on that chart. These are all single-sided but on thick paper so that you can have those, refer to those quite a bit. So it looks like we've got, there's 2 counters in there, 2 counter sheets. A little worried. We'll talk about it sooty, so I better don't look too bad. Get a little bit of that laser cut smell. What I'll do then is I'll pull these out and I'll put them back on this plastic right there, so we're not messing anything up. So there's 2 of them here. Here's one of them, and they're thick. It's very thick counters there, and since they're laser cut, they're kind of pre-rounded or pre-cut, so you're not really going to have nibs. That's the front, and the back is clear, so single-sided. Let's look at these over here. These look like more like markers. These look like your actual, some of your flights here. Here's B-29s here. And here's some Japanese interceptors. So there you have it. You got 2 counter sheets in there. Not too bad. Not too bad. Still going to follow the rules of wiping these off a little bit. Reminds me of Victory Point games back in the day. They had laser cut counters, and they included a napkin in their boxes, so you could, wipe off the counters or wipe off your hands. Where's the napkin? Where's the napkin, Fortress Games? Anyway, so there you have it. Let's put this off to the side. I'm going to keep these on the plastic until I'm able to properly clean those. But this is what you get in a box of 20th Air Force, 2nd edition. I really am. I might have to cancel my plans for the rest of the day and get this to the table. This is looking very interesting. As I said, I've watched some of the 8th Air Force, but I haven't seen as much covered on the 20th Air Force. One reason why I wanted to get this from the good folks at Fortress Games. So there you have it. If you've played this, feel free to drop your comments down below, or if you've played the 8th Air Force and want to talk about anything that's related to that, more than happy to hear it. And also, if you want to talk about any of the other fine games from Fortress Games, I mean, these two I'm really, they're starting to pique my interest as well. I saw something on this just the other day, and I was starting to watch that. But anyway, I've got my own homework to do with the 20th Air Force here, and love to know your thoughts on any of these things. Just keep them civil and drop them in the comments down below. Want to thank the good people at Fortress Games again. Need to clear my schedule to punch this out and do some play of this before I can do an after action and talk about this even more. Anyway, thanks all for stopping by. I really do appreciate you stopping by. I know you have a lot of choices for your time, and any time you spend with me is greatly appreciated. Thanks all, and take care. Thanks for watching.